welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for today's video. Today we're going to be discussing what I read in May, and then we're going to be discussing my very ambitious May TBR. Nope, June TBR. Alright, where does one begin? Okay, so you probably saw me talk about most of these already because I think I filmed almost all of them. But we're going to be going through these kind of quick just because you've seen me read them before. So we have 2 5-star books in here. And this is one of the first ones. This is the one I finished on May 1st. So it's included in May. I read Scarred by Emily McIntyre. And I loved this book. It was 5 stars. 5. If you don't know, she writes like a whole, it's called the Never After series. And right now there's 4 books in it, but there will be a 5th. And all of them like are standalones, but they're all part of a series, but they don't go together. But this one in particular is like a Lion King. I don't want to say retelling because it literally doesn't go along with the Lion King at all. It kind of just like has names of things that go along with the Lion King. Like we have the Scarred Prince, who's like our main character in this, and his name is Tristan. He's feared by everyone, and then this girl comes in the picture, and then we start having a romance. Also, if you didn't know, this is a dark romance. If you don't like dark romance, don't read it because this is dark. But I love a dark romance, so I had a great time reading this book. 5 stars. There's a bookmark in here. And this is one of my bookmarks. So yeah, that's the first book I finished in May. Then I went on to read romance for a week. And the first book I read in that video was By a Thread by Lucy Score. And at first, I was like, oh my gosh, this book is a 5 stars. I love this book. And then the more I thought about it, I didn't think about it after. So that tells me that it was more of a 4.5. This was so cute and like, it was like a grumpy boss comedy. It was a great time. It was a good book. And I've talked about this book many times on my channel. So by this time you should already have read it. You should really read it because I know a lot of people love this book and they rate it 5 stars. It just didn't hit the mark quite for me. But I mean, grumpy boss, workplace romance. What else could you want in a book? I don't know. But super cute. And there's a dog mentioned in it, so I love that. And then I read a book in a series. I have talked way too much about the series, but I don't care. I will never stop talking about it. You can come at me. It's fine. So then I read Flock. And let me tell you, I did not know how I felt about this series until I got to the second book. But nonetheless, this is a 4-star read for me. 5-star series. I don't care that I haven't finished the series. It's a 5-star series. So this book, I was confused. I was into it. I didn't know it was happening, but I kind of knew it was happening. And I just love this book. And I just love this series. Like, this book was so necessary. And I got introduced to all my new favorite characters, and I just love all of these people in these books so much. There's basically like a secret that's happening, and this girl moves to a town, and she meets these boys who have secrets, and she doesn't understand it, but then she gets in a relationship, and then she gets in another relationship. But this one's a good one for spice and plot. Like, it's good. It's a good book. And you gotta figure out why there's ravens everywhere. But you figured that out, don't worry. So we had a great time in Flock. But then we went to Wretched. And let me explain. I told you she has the Never After series and that they're all standalones, right? It's based off The Wizard of Oz, but it's not. So this one, I have to say, is my least favorite one. I feel bad saying that because I love the Never After series so much. I gave Hooked, which is the first one. I know they don't go together. I gave Hook and Scarred both 5 stars. And then this one, I gave a 3 stars. So this one wasn't it for me, but you know, maybe it's for someone else. I don't know if it was because it's one of her shorter books and I didn't feel that attached to the characters. Like, I couldn't even tell you their names. Like, I don't remember their names. See, I don't remember their names. So that tells me that I didn't enjoy this book as much as I would hope that I would have. But that's fine, you know, maybe it's for someone else. Maybe you would love this book. Because all her other books, I love. Just this one didn't hit the mark. And then I read literally one of my favorite books ever. Like, I don't know if it's my favorite book. It's definitely one of my top 5 books ever. And you already know what I'm going to say because I've already talked about it before. But I have to talk about it again. I love this book with all my heart. I don't care if I've talked about it a million times. I will never stop talking about this book. I love this book. I still think about these characters. I still think about what happened. I still am attached. So attached that I haven't read the third book because I don't ever want the series to end. I cannot stress enough that you need to read the Ravenhood series. 5 stars. I've never read a book that gave me the emotions that this book gave me. I was happy. I was sad. I was angry. I was frustrated. I literally had such a good time reading this book. Read the Ravenhood series. Read the Ravenhood series, please. So then I read my first H.D. Carlton book, and it was Does It Hurt? And I heard that this book was spicy, but it was really freaking spicy. This book is so dark and heavy that it comes with an important note. Nonetheless, 4-star book. It was a great book. I liked the plot of it. It was confusing. Oh, almost dropped it. It was like confusing, but at the same time, I knew what was going on. So that's why I didn't give it 5 stars. Like at one point you think ghosty vibes, and yeah. Let's just say I knew what was happening. And that's the only reason I didn't give it 5 stars, because I kind of knew what was going on. I would say if you do not like dark romance, do not read this. Like, even if you want to get into dark romance, I would suggest a different book before we jump into this, you know? Give yourself a little jump. And then if you want to do the big jump, go ahead. Go ahead. Just jump right in. But basically, it's about this girl named Sawyer, and she has like a hard life. Like, she's done things in her past that prevent her from doing certain things. So then she has to do other things so that she can leave the country. And then she meets this man named Enzo, and then they get in a shipwreck, and then they are stuck on an island with a man. And that's where the drama comes in. And then the last book that I literally finished like a couple days ago was A Court of Thorns and Roses. I finally read Akhtar, and I literally made a whole reading vlog on this book. And you just need to go watch my reaction to this book and everything that I thought about this book. But nonetheless, I gave it like 4.5 stars. But I literally made a whole video on it, so go watch the video, because I literally made a whole reading vlog reading this book, so I'm not going to talk about it much here. So that was everything I read in May, and now we're going to talk about what I'm going to read in June. I wonder if I should include the book that I'm reading right now, because it will be in my monthly reading wrap-up anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to include this book because it will be in my monthly reading wrap-up, because I'm literally reading it right now. So I am reading Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton right now, so I'm including this. I am having a good time. This is how far I am through this book, and I'm vlogging it because I was doing a different video, and then I'm thinking I'm going to just make this its own video, because look, it deserves its own video. I mean, that's the first book I'm going to read because I'm in the middle of it, but I'm not going to finish that today. There's no freaking way. Hi guys, it's literally the same day I filmed this video. It's May 31st, and guess what I finished? I finished Haunting Adeline, and guess what I'm reading now? Haunting Adeline, because I gave Haunting Adeline 5 freaking stars because it was so freaking good. I cannot believe how much I liked that book. I literally was not bored at any point in that book. So that just tells me that that was a great book. And I literally, that book left you on such a cliffhanger that I just needed to start reading the second one already. So I'm reading that now. So add that to my TBR. But literally, if you are a dark romance person, you're gonna love it. If you're not used to it, I do not recommend just jumping into Haunting Adeline. Like, jump into a different, go into the Never After series or something before you go into Haunting Adeline. But literally, guys, 5 stars. So I just needed to pop in and say that because I said I wasn't gonna finish the book and I literally flew through it today. So 5 stars. So yeah, I'm reading Haunting Adeline right now, but after Haunting Adeline, these are the books that I want to read in June. I want to read Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher because I read the fine print and literally loved the 5 in print. It was 5 stars. So yes, I want to read this, and I'm very excited to get back into the Dreamland Billionaire series. Okay, so the next book I want to read on the beach. I know it's kind of weird. I don't know why I want to read it on the beach. I just do. It's The Inheritance Games. I think I just want to read it purely because I think it'll be like a fun read, and I feel like it'll be a fast read. So I want to bring this to the beach with me when I go next week. I'm very late to the party, but that's fine. And then I will say I am listening to this one right now, Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. I love the Twisted series, and I started listening to this, so I'm gonna continue to listen to this. Definitely excited to read this, and then I just have one more left, and then I'll be done the Twisted series because I've literally been reading it for like a year. So the second book I want to bring to the beach is literally like the most beachy looking book, Malibu Rising. I will say I'm nervous to read this book. I don't know if it's a romance book or not, and I do not know what it's about. But I know a lot of people love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm excited to bring it to the beach. I'm just nervous. Also, it's like so floppy. I love it. So floppy. And then the last one I want to read at the beach is Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. I've literally talked about how I need to read this book about 3 times, so we're not going to say it again. I need to read it. I'm going to read it. It'll probably be the first book I read at the beach, to be honest. And the next book I want to read this month is Heartless. I heard this was like Alice in Wonderland vibes, and I am a big Disney fan, and I'm excited to read this because I think it's a fantasy book. Is this a fantasy book? It looks like a fantasy book. Excuse me. This is fantasy. If this isn't a fantasy book, I'm dumb, but since I'm trying to get more into fantasy, I feel like this would be a good one because Alice in Wonderland vibes. And look how pretty this cover is. I literally am obsessed with the cover. And then the next 2 books, they're good ones. I am going to finish the Ravenhood series this month. I'm going to finish it. But I also heard this girl on TikTok say that this book really wasn't necessary. And I will say Exodus left off like on a point where I'd be happy the series was over. So I'm so curious to what is in this book. Like, what is this about? I don't know. But I'm excited nonetheless to finish the series because I just love this world. I do. I love it. The next book I'm about to show you is one I must read. I must read. How do you say this one? Akamoth. I must read A Court of Mist and Fury because I know that she doesn't end up with the man that she did in the first book. I know. Because the other guy, I want her to end up with. And I believe this might happen in this book. I've also heard this book is like one of the favorites of the series, so I really want to get into this book. I am obsessed with the color of this book. Also, these books bruise like so easily. But nonetheless, I am so excited to read this book. But I told myself I wasn't going to rush through the Avatar series because I want to have a good time. I don't want to be like, and it's done, you know? I don't want to read it. I don't read fast, but I don't want to read it all at once and then be done with it. I want to take my time because that's what I do with all of my series, and then we just don't finish them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books on my TBR for this month. I'm going to include Haunting Adeline at the top because I'm reading that right now. And then I only finished 7 last month. So let's see if we can actually finish 9 books this month. I also have thick books. Like, this one's huge. This one's huge. I also have Twisted Hate, which is huge. But nonetheless, I'm so excited to get into this month. I feel like I have a good variety. Like, I have, like, fantasy. I also have dark romance. I also have, like, cutesy summer books. Like, I have a good amount of variety. I feel like this last month, I was like, give me all the dark romance. At least I have more variety over here this month, and I finally have like fantasy on my list. You know, I finally got into that. So I'm so excited for this reading month. And let's see how many books I actually finish on my TBR because last month I literally probably read none of them. I don't even want to go back and look because I'm pretty sure I literally read none of them because I placed such a big order on Amazon, which y'all saw. And then I just wanted to read all the new books that I got. So I need to go through my TBR and actually read the books that are here before I be ordering 18 more books. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I literally am so happy right now, surrounded by all these books. I don't think you'll understand. Like this makes me so freaking happy. And I'm just having such a good time. I'm so happy today. I love filming book videos for you guys. Like, y'all have no idea how happy it makes me. And if you like this video, don't forget to actually like the video and then subscribe to my channel because it would help my channel out a lot. And also, don't feel pressured to buy me anything, but I do have an Amazon wish list. Clearly, I buy my own books a lot. But if you wanted to send me anything, I have an Amazon wish list down in the description box. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!